Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to make this video because ever since the character of Superman has regained popularity thanks to the new DCU franchise, I always pondered why the character has never gotten a great video game, since he barely had any. The last time a AAA Superman video game was released was almost 20 years ago with the Superman Returns film tie-in game, and it was a disaster. There was also supposed to be a Superman game in development by Factor 5 back in the late 2000s. The footage you are seeing right now is from that cancelled Superman game. But after the 2008 financial crisis in America, Factor 5 was forced to shut down and their Superman game, unfortunately, went into the abyss along with them. I really want to make this video on the 5 things a Superman video game needs in order to be successful and finally giving the Man of Tomorrow his AAA treatment. Before I get into that, one of the most common arguments you always hear is that a Superman game could never work because he's too overpowered. The reason that argument fails is because video games have been proven that you can make an absurdly powerful character fun to play. Kratos from the God of War series, Dante from Devil May Cry, even Alex Mercer from the Prototype games. And yet all of their games that they lead in are still challenging, engaging, and have been praised by gamers and critics. So Superman should be no exception. On top of that, it's important to keep in mind that Superman is a fictional character and his power level can be decided by the writer, and isn't locked in by the laws of physics. Developers can decide how strong he is for the sake of gameplay balance, just like they do with every other superhero or god-level character in video games. Contrary to popular belief, Superman is not invincible. He can be hurt, overwhelmed, and even killed. There's an entire comic storyline where he dies and is later resurrected. So for gameplay purposes, he obviously needs to be slightly depowered to keep things engaging and avoid combat becoming boring. So with that out of the way, here's how you actually make a great Superman game. Number 1. Free flow combat mechanics. A Superman game absolutely needs to learn from both the Batman Arkham series and the Insomniac Spider-Man games to incorporate free-flow combat with the different enemy varieties as well. The player should be able to select different powers from Superman using the D-pad on the PS5 controller. Pressing up for heat vision, pressing right for freeze breath, pressing left for super breath, and pressing down for X-ray vision so you could quickly scan the environment around you. You could also implement a combo system similar to the Batman Arkham games where pressing 2 buttons at the same time quickfires a power. For example, pressing L1 and triangle at the same time to quickfire heat vision, or pressing L1 and square at the same time to quickfire freeze breath. Enemy variety is also essential. Players should be encouraged to use the right powers for the right situations, such as freezing heat-based enemies, using heat vision against ice-based enemies, etc. Combat should also not be grounded, it should be aerial as well. Have Superman fight enemies in the sky just as much as he fights enemies on the ground. Don't have it be strictly on the ground combat. Of course, there should also be a dedicated counter button to stop enemies from attacking you. The game should include an indicator on the screen that an enemy is about to attack, and you need to press a counter button to stop it. To increase tension, enemy NPCs can carry kryptonite weapons, red solar laser weapons, and even magical weapons, making combat more dangerous and forcing the player to stay alert, since Superman is weak against those things in the comics. Number 2. Great exploration. The game should primarily take place in Metropolis, Superman's home city, and it needs to be large, expansive, and fun to fly through. The city should feel alive and almost like a character within itself. I used an AI software to create a sample map of Metropolis for a Superman game that includes 7 boroughs from the comics which make up the city. New Troy is the Manhattan equivalent of Metropolis and serves as the central business district with skyscrapers, landmarks, and major monuments. This is where you'd find Lex Tower, the Daily Planet, the Superman Memorial Statue, Centennial Park, Star Labs, and even the Ace of Clubs bar run by Bibbo Babowski. You could have Baker Line, Park Ridge, and Queensland Park be a mix of residential and business boroughs with office buildings, shopping areas, and other public spaces. Have St. Martin's Island be a residential bureau for Metropolis's wealthy elites, filled with luxury homes and private estates. You could have Hell's Gate Island be the industrial district and home to the suicide slums, which in the comics was a gritty, poverty-stricken neighborhood. You could even include Strikers Island Penitentiary, which from the comics was a heavily guarded prison island that housed Metropolis's most dangerous criminals, including Superman's villains. Side activities should also give the player more to do beyond the main story. These can include investigative missions where you can play as Clark Kent using your journalism skills to uncover secrets. There should also be side missions involving villains that couldn't work for the main storyline of the game. Random crimes and disaster events should occur dynamically throughout the city, keeping the world feeling unpredictable and alive. The map should also include collectibles and tokens that can be used to unlock certain costumes and abilities. The game should also include a main menu option similar to Insomniac Spider-Man 2, where the player can change the time of day and even the weather of the city. Interiors are also important. Have the player be able to enter inside locations such as the Daily Planet, the Ace of Clubs, etc. Hell, you don't even have to include strictly Metropolis for Superman to explore. You could also include other locations that Superman can fast travel to and explore, such as the small town from Kansas that he grew up in, Smallville. You could even include the Kent farm that he grew up in. You could even include the Fortress of Solitude for him to fast travel to. As for flight controls, I don't even think they could be that complicated. You could just press R1 to ascend, press L1 to descend, and even hold down the X button just to fly faster. I'm just gonna make this clear right now. If you're not going to make a Superman game where the city is at least fun to fly through, then you already missed the mark. Number 3. RPG-style leveling and customization. Now, earlier I mentioned collectibles, and this is where they come into play. The game should feature a progression system similar to the Insomniac Spider-Man games, where collecting tokens from the maps and even from side missions could unlock new costumes and upgrades. This gives the player a real incentive to explore the map. Give the player the option to unlock different suits from the live-action films, TV shows, and even the classic and modern-day comics. Hell, you could even include a customization option for the player to customize their own Superman suit to fit their own taste, such as changing the color shades of the costume, deciding if his cape should have the Superman emblem on it or not, changing the size of the emblem on his chest, and even including an option where he should wear the red trunks around his waist or not. If you really want to be fancy, you could even include an option to change Superman's hairstyle, such as having a Christopher Reeve hairstyle, a Henry Cavill hairstyle, etc. On top of that, the game should also include a skill tree system where players can unlock new abilities and combat upgrades using skill points earned from completing main missions and even side missions. Number 4. Destructible environments and destruction physics. A Superman game absolutely needs a destruction physics system. Superman exists in a brutal world, one where even a single punch can shatter concrete and steel. Destruction makes the player truly feel powerful. Modern game engines already support this, such as Unreal Engine 5. With proper physics systems, buildings should react realistically to damage. Punching a wall should cause debris to fall off, and damaging a structure enough causing it to collapse. Games such as the 2008 Incredible Hulk tie-in and Red Faction Guerrilla are great examples of how destruction can be handled. In those games, you can tear through buildings, rip objects from the environment, and use them as weapons. A YouTuber by the name of Aggressive Mastery even demonstrated a destruction physics system in Unreal Engine 5 where flying into buildings causes massive chunks of debris to break apart. Exactly the kind of scale a Superman game needs. I forgot to mention this before, but Unreal Engine 5 is the perfect game engine for a Superman game since it has all the proper features needed for one. Destruction should also be integrated into combat. You could have Superman take an enemy NPC and drag their face across the facade of a building, or you could have Superman pick up a lamppost from a street and use it as a melee weapon. These moments make combat truly feel dynamic, cinematic, and fun. Number 5. Great story, characters, and cast. If you're hiring a writer for a Superman game, please, for the love of Rao, do not get Tom King to write the story. Instead, get famed Superman comic writers like Grant Morrison, Mark Waid, Peter J. Tomasi, or hell, you could even get Paul Dini or James Gunn to pitch a Superman game story. The developers should also avoid retreading stories about his early days as a hero because we've seen that story countless times already. This Superman should be older, experienced, and fully established. The story should also include key supporting characters like Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen, Martha Kent, Jonathan Kent, depending if they want to have Jonathan Kent be alive or not, and even Bibbo Bobowski. Casting also matters. The actors should capture the heart of the characters as well. For the role of Clark Kent in Superman, my personal picks would be between these two video game actors, Brian Deckard and Travis Willingham. Either way, they would be a perfect choice. Gamers may recognize Brian Deckard as Connor from the 2018 Quantic Dream game Detroit Become Human. He has the physical presence, range, and commanding voice needed for both Clark Kent and Superman.
You're accused of murder. You know you're not allowed to endanger human life under any circumstances. Do you have anything to say in your defense? If you won't talk, I'm going to have to probe your memory.
No! No, please don't do that.
They're going to disassemble you to look for problems in your biocomponents. They have no choice if they want to understand what happened.
I mean, I'm sorry, but if you can't look at this photo of him wearing glasses and can't see him as Clark Kent, then you are lying to yourself. Travis Willingham is also another great choice since he has the proper stature for the role, standing at 6'4", and he has portrayed Superman in previous games such as the LEGO DC series.
I can see you smirking in there. X-ray vision. Yeah, actually there are. I should go. See you guys. We're here to see Lex Luthor.
And you are?
Seriously? Superman. He's Batman.
Way I like to travel.
Come on, cheer up, sourpuss.
Not cool.
This pic of him in a Superman shirt immediately sold me that he could pull it off. Well, that's everything I believe that a Superman video game needs in order to be truly great, and potentially even Game of the Year material. Thank you all for watching. Let me know in the comments what you would add to make the game even better, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.